Hey YouTube, how we going? We're back with another build guide, and today we have mass totems. I am using this one particularly for the contest run by Perry the Pig. He runs a contest every so often where there's a specific rule set. So this contest was about using Temper Strike in a build. It's a really fun kind of contest to like smash out a new build idea and look at sweet builds. I'm doing it for that, and this build is really awesome, and I like where it's done, and I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I want to do after this. One, once they fix a bug, and two, once I feel like being unethical again, which is pretty quickly usually. How we're doing it, you've seen some footage so far, but we're just getting a shit ton of minions. And you can see the kind of damage we're doing there. Our totems are crit capped, so they are like always critting, and there's a lot of moving pieces in the build. But you can see the kind of crits that they're doing. Some of the Thorn Totem crits are well over 100k. Some of them are on a bit of the lower side, towards 26k-ish. You can see there, but the speed at which I'm doing it is amazing because I have, we've got 8 plus 5 plus 1 is 14 totems, plus up to 12 vines as well. So you can see there that I have a lot of things to do. How this build works is probably going to make a lot more sense once you see my items and the Temper Strike skill tree. So as a lot of people would be doing is running the Gladiator of Lagon and then also using Scheme of the Architect. So this is going to give a whole bunch of flat spell damage to our minions, which is double because I meet this. So I can get up to about 20 stacks, I would say, with Temper Strike. I'm doing the no temper setup, pretty familiar, as well as the Stormbolt expenditure. But that gives me about 20 stacks, so 160 flat for my totems. Seems pretty crazy. And then I'm using the Ferobor's combo to gain intelligence based on... Sorry, flat crit based on intelligence. And then I'm using a cleaver solution to give me the intelligence. So I stack strength above 50, which you can see there, I got 52. That strength is then converted into intelligence. So then I have 52 intelligence for my totems, and that's why they're critting, because it doesn't need too much. I'm using the Spriggan tree, so I'm quickly diving into Spriggan form, dumping a whole bunch of totems with healing totems, and I have the node that makes me summon all the Thorn totems at once. It makes them super expensive. So what I can do is I do Spriggan form, and I've got about 318 there, and my Thorn totem is 113. So 113 times 3 is 339, which is just in excess of my bar. So I go into Spriggan form, cast one set of vines, and then 3 sets of totems. Pops me out, I get my mana back, and we just continue on back into human form. And it's also really good because when I go into Spriggan form, I get the benefit of this node, the leaf barrier, so I'm constantly getting some armor into ward, just giving me a nice little pull while getting so many different totems. I'm using the Thorn Totem idol over here to proc my regular totems. That's pretty easy when I've got so many hits to Gathering Storm. In Gathering Storm, we've got the nice little node here, which is Friends of the Tempest, pretty common one. Basically, if you have minions, they will do it. What's going to make this build good is using Friends of the Tempest with a cold conversion. Currently, that's bugged, but all the minions I do, Vines, Totem, Thorn Totem, Storm Totem, they can all be converted to cold, which means that I could be running that instead and getting like all the stacks that I want to get. But more importantly is that then I could be doing some damage because I'm going to have a heap of totems, and I can get like a lot of spell damage with the passive over here, but it's nowhere near comparable to the amount of damage the totems are doing. So I opted not to do that at this case, but you definitely can do that. However, you can use the, I don't have one here, you can use the idols that give you % cold damage. You can get up to 22% cold damage per totem. So 22% times 14 is a lot. And that's why I'm also very keen to try on that aspect as well. And then you can do the spell stuff on top of it. So you could be a combination of your Thorn totems and doing a million cold damage, and freezing stuff as well, which is really cool. And you could do the Frostbite and Spell Cold. So you're doing damage through Spell Crit, you're doing damage through Frostbite, and then your totems are doing damage from like just minion percent so that they can do, you know, 100% crit cap stuff. And I've got like all the crit multi stuff. I've got a Silver Frond, I've got a Death Rattle, and, you know, using the Stormcast to prop that out for free. And then also like minion and frostbite as well. So there's just like everything does damage, and it's really cool. A neat little tech is the Silver Frond tech as well. So you may have seen that in the footage there. Basically, when you use a Silver Frond, for whatever reason, it doesn't proc other traversal skills that aren't on your bar. So you can go Fury Leap like that, proc in, Vines, get out of it, and your Fury Leap is still fine. So you get that double traversal skill. So you're always moving, which kind of compensates for the fact that you do use Spriggan Form quite a bit, which kind of roots you in place and makes you stop for a little bit. So it's like you're actually quite a fast build because you have access to a double traversal. Most of the stuff is going to be in the planner. I don't really want to go through everything because there's a million moving pieces with it, and it is really cool. And I can't wait to try the Frostbite version of this. I think this will be like a whole order of magnitude higher than what I'm doing at the moment, which is already really, really good. But then that gives just like, what I'm doing right now is awesome. The Frostbite version will be great. And then also like freeze everything on screen. And like Shaman is a great option for it as well. You've got some freeze rate there for both yourself and minions. And you will be able to grab like this freeze rate cold damage stuff once you convert it all to one thing. Because at the moment I've got like minion lightning, I've got minion flat, physical, I've got like random poison, I've got random bleed, and this would help kind of align it all in one direction as well. Alright, I think that is mostly it. There's nothing really too out there. Everything else will be in the planner. I do want some Julra's Obsession, which would be like just a nice little fit to that, but I don't have any that are good. But that with Shred Armor, because you can see at the moment I don't actually have any Shred stacks on these, and besides myself from the Gathering Storm, that would kind of tie the build together for the final little bit. But thanks guys, appreciate that, and enjoy the competition.